Welcome to Girl Talk. We are so excited to be here and getting ready for the holidays, and we've got a great show because we're going to talk about some fun things that are related to holidays, winter, gift giving. We've got Sue from Modana Antiques who's joining us. I love having her on the show.
I had no idea they had so many different kinds of things, like jewelry to weird repurposed items and
The
6-foot golf pictures.
Yeah, almost like you don't need a plan when you go in there. You can probably find the perfect gift for someone by just scoping the place out.
And they're so good there too. They're really, really helpful. This is not your typical antique store. They're really, really sweet over there and helping you out with things. I mean, I always kind of listen when I'm there, and they're like, you know, working on measurements for people that they're going to email over later, and just really nice things. So, I mean, it's like an experience to go there. So I'm excited to do some shopping there because I think you can find some really special, unique finds that are different than usual.
Yeah,
Don't you love that?
Where if you have someone that's hard to shop for, maybe you don't have to overthink it and drive yourself crazy. Just go and it'll pop out at you, the perfect
Maybe
gift.
so.
Yeah, true.
The variety in that store is immense.
Yeah.
And don't you love the idea of finding a really meaningful, special, unique gift that just is for that one person? I love that idea.
I do too.
I always get excited when I find that special thing. And
I know, because it's
I
more
love
exciting to
giving
give the gift.
Yeah.
You know,
It is.
when you find the right thing.
Right.
That's a selfish thing, but I mean, it is. It's like, it makes you happy to give the
Has that
perfect
happened
gift.
to you where you get the Christmas gift in like early November, late October, and you can't wait?
Oh, yeah.
I
can't
can't wait
keep a
till December
secret.
25th to
We're
give
like,
this
are
to
you sure you don't want to know what it is? It's right over here.
Yeah.
Why don't you just shake it? Guess what it is.
Oh, I
I
was
know.
so bad at that. There was one year when I was a kid, there was a particular gift under the tree that I just would not leave alone. And when I tilted it with thump, and I tilted back in it with thump, and it actually ended up being named the one-sided box thumper. And my parents said, "Now, Janet, you leave that alone, or we're taking it back to the one-sided box thumper store." And I was so intrigued, and I so wanted to know what that was. And finally, on Christmas, I got to open the one-sided box thumper, and it was actually a warm-up suit, and my dad had put a weight in there to throw me off.
How neat. That's so great. That's a cute idea. Throw
Yeah.
off the kids. I love it.
Yep, I love doing that too.
I remember getting a snowsuit one year because I lived in Minnesota, and I was like, how is this a Christmas present?
That's, yeah, when you grow up in that, I grew up in that household that wasn't like, you know, a wealthy household, so I would get like for Easter, I would get socks. and,
Right.
you know, it's like, you get presents that you needed anyways, but you know, you get to open it. Right?
Yeah,
Right.
and it's
So,
wrapped.
It's great.
And it looks
And
beautiful
then when
under
you're
the
that
tree.
young, you play with the box anyways. Who cares about
Right.
what's inside? So awesome. Well, this will be fun to talk to her, pick her brain a little bit more about some special gifts. And of course, we'll talk to Joe Conant, who is here, as you can see, and he'll give us some tips about winter tires. I'm sure I need winter tires. I just don't know it yet.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll get an up close look at a snow tire. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah. Hey, you know what though? I need the info, and we'll talk about some really cool things to do if you've got family coming into town or looking for a great date night or weekend or just something to do that's kind of fun with the kids. We're going to talk to you about that after the break. Stick around. We've got more Girl Talk after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. Our first guest today is from the Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation, better known as the WARF. And specifically today, we're going to learn about the Discovery Building and its town center. So with us, we have Laura Heisler. She's the Director of Programming there, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the town center and all that it has to offer for both campus and community. Laura, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. So let's start with what is the Discovery Building, the town center, and
Who are you targeting? Who's your audience?
Well, we're really targeting everybody. It's a space that is designed to connect the campus with the community. And so if you've been by, it's on the corner of University and Randall. And if you walk in, you'll see one of the most beautiful spaces you've ever seen. And there are just a ton of activities there all the time for everybody, pretty much everybody.
I agree, and I bet many of us have driven right by this place and wondered what it was, or maybe never even noticed it, but it is a beautiful space. I've been there.
Guilty.
Yeah, thanks.
Guilty as charged.
So
Very
Laura,
exciting.
when do your activities, your programs take place? Different programs take place at different times, and so it's always good to check our website and to look at various event calendars like in the Isthmus or 77 Square. But we have a program the first Saturday of every month from 10 to noon, and that's really for everybody to bring different families and kids of different ages. And we have a different theme each month. The one coming up in December is on Frozen in Time. So take a look back at Wisconsin in the last ice age and all kinds of different things, hands-on activities.
How neat is that?
But we have after-school programs. We have activities in the evenings for adults and for kids if they're old enough to stay up. So it really ranges different programs at different times.
Even just taking a tour of your facility is extremely interesting
Yep.
and entertaining.
And it really is meant to be accessible. So it seems like it's a campus building where there's a lot of research going on, and there is. But the whole ground floor is designed to bring the community in.
That's so great. So now, if people are joining you for the first time, what do you recommend that they do, and what can they expect for maybe their first visit?
I would say try to come when there's a planned program, because then you'll really know kind of what to do, and it won't be so. It won't be so overwhelming.
Sure.
But depending on what you come to do, so if you come for what we call Saturday Science on the first Saturday, you can expect to maybe hold a brain or talk with a scientist or launch an air cannon and figure out the trajectory of how things fly. So it's really engaging and hands-on. You definitely don't want to just walk around. You want to roll up your sleeves and get busy.
You had me at hold a brain.
Did you say hold the brain?
Hold the brain, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That is cool. This is a neat place. I see why it's called Discovery Center. I mean, I'm sure it's just a place to explore and learn and all this kind of stuff that you wouldn't get to do on a regular basis.
That's right, that's
I love
right.
it.
Yeah, a lot of these events celebrate science and creativity.
That's right.
Now, how much do these events cost?
Most of them are free. The only things that
Did you
have
catch
a fee,
that?
yeah, most of them are free. We have some activities up in the lab. So in addition to the whole ground floor, we have some research labs that are designed to bring in members of the public. And so every now and then, and we have one coming up this week. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We have the next one's coming up on January 23rd.
Okay.
And it's called DIY Science, and that's for adults to get up in the lab and do basically a field trip, but it's for grown-ups. And those have a small fee associated with them. And then when school groups come, there's also a small fee for lab activities. But otherwise, everything is free.
DIY, do-it-yourself science?
Yeah. What a great kind of like day date, maybe for on a
Right.
Sunday or
Right.
Monday, you know. Okay, so I was terrible at science in high school. Terrible. And I admit it openly. Do I have to be good at science to come there and do these do-it-yourself science projects?
You really don't. You really don't. First of all, I think we're all really good at science if we think about it, because we know how to mix chemicals and cook, and we know how to measure distances and speed, and so we all have an innate, inborn scientist.
I wish you were my teacher.
we all have a scientist inside, and really all you have to do is be curious about something. You don't have to remember how to do a logarithm or your times tables or anything. You can just roll up your sleeves, and you will have fun and you'll learn something. Yeah.
Cool.
Very nice.
Well, this is a really fabulous place, and I'm so glad that we have you here so more people can learn about it. So, pardon my voice, looking for cool events or activities, many of them free, check them out online to see what their schedule has to offer. So again, this is the Discovery Building, the Town Center, which is the ground floor. Maybe go into any of their activities or just take a tour. Thank you so much for coming in, Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, moving along, we do need to take a break, but if you love the idea of giving a unique gift for the holidays, you'll definitely want to stick around for our next guest. We have Sue from Odana Antiques.
Hi there, welcome back to Girl Talk. We have the fabulous Sue Duncan from Odana Antiques and Fine Arts, located on Odana Road. Huge facility, amazing things, especially for gifts for the holidays, which Sue's going to talk to us a little bit about today.
So Sue, what is new at Odana Antiques?
We are hugely into the holidays, as
bet.
are most retail stores this time of year. We are gearing up for our holiday open house, which is the first weekend in December, and we are trying to figure out where to put more Christmas, and Christmas.
Right?
Trying to find space in that huge place.
In
you've
that
got?
huge place, yes.
So, what are some of the top selling holiday items?
Well, holiday decor is still hot. Probably number one is ornaments. Anything from the late 1800s up through 10 or 20 years ago. Sleds are still flying. Snowshoes and snowshoes and skis are hugely popular.
Wow,
And people
piece
are
of
still
everything.
People are still buying throws, something to curl up in front of that fire, and as the temperature drops, Pendleton jackets have moved into the mainstay because you can get a great warm jacket, good quality, at a third of what you'd need to pay Pendleton for it.
Sure.
And
I'm so
this
glad we-
fabulous jewelry you're
Yeah,
wearing.
and
What
I
a
should
great
mention
gift
it's
idea.
beautiful. We were noticing before we started, but I'm so glad you do this for us when you come, because I never realize how much there is, and when you name certain things, I go, oh, you have that. Oh, you have that. Like ornaments, I would never have thought. That's great. And what a fun way to decorate your tree with something that's got a lot of history and tradition, and I just love that. So on those same lines, let's talk a little bit about holiday gift giving. Are there like some trending hottest gifts out there?
Well, there's the traditional. Jewelry is always good. And thank you for appreciating it. It came from the store. And we have a number of nice pieces under $50 in sterling for men and for women. We have great pottery, everything from mid-century to earlier pieces, and artwork from $30 up to $12,000 if you want an original oil painting. Then we get into the little more personal. If you've got a UW grad, we've got a lot of great UW memorabilia, 1950s football sweaters, blankets, that type of thing. And if you've got someone in the medical profession, we have unusual medical items. We just sold a prescription for alcohol from the Prohibition era.
Wow.
So it's kind of like the Prohibition version of medical marijuana.
Oh my goodness. This
Doctor's
is so
orders.
neat. This is the
Doctor's
place,
orders today.
Right.
This is the place to go, you know, if you're tired of giving someone that same old Gap sweater every year or whatever, but you need some unique ideas. I mean, you'll find countless things, it sounds like. That's so cool.
Yeah, which is perfect. I was just going to ask you more specifically why, I mean, with the malls, and yeah, everyone can get that same Gap sweater. Why is it so important to shop somewhere as unique as Odana Antiques for those holiday gifts?
Well, I think you can add a personal touch in a way that you can't at the mall. Like if you and your sister always played Parcheesi when you were growing up, and you always lost, why not get her a vintage 1950 Parcheesi board and put a little note in there saying rematch on New Year's?
I bet you're a great gift
Right.
giver.
Yeah.
Thoughtful.
Thoughtful.
And that's the wonderful opportunity is you can think about a situation that maybe happened in the past and remedy it. If your sister got that great cake plate that mom had, why not find a matching one for you this
Right.
holiday season? Why not? It's a way to right wrongs, heal some past wounds, and create a lot of fun that you had growing up.
Absolutely.
So, what is the most unique piece that you've got?
We've got some weird ones now.
Yeah?
We
I
have
love this
a
part.
I know.
4-by-6-foot golf picture, which would pretty much cover the sign in the back, that big, of guys playing golf. We have an artifact from a ship that sunk in Lake Superior.
Crazy.
We have a stove that someone repurposed into a buffet.
Oh, wow.
It's got the feet and it's got the top, and the whole middle is wood. It's stunning.
That's perfect for entertaining this
And
holiday season.
That's perfect. And we have one guy who takes tools and welds them together into wine bottle holders that are, I think, in the $50 to $60 range, and fantastic gifts.
You list all of these
so
things
neat.
off, and I immediately need that.
Gotta have that, gotta have that.
Neat, very cool. Well, thank you so much
Sure,
for
my
joining
pleasure.
us and giving us all these great tips. I can't wait to go shopping for the holidays and think of all these thoughtful gifts. I love it.
Good,
Yeah,
thank
me
you.
too. Please stick around. We've got more Girl Talk coming up. We've got Joe Conant from Conant Automotive. He's going to tell us what we need to do to winterize our vehicles and our tires this season. Stick around.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. This is the segment you've been waiting for, and in perfect time for the winter weather, we have Joe Conant who joins us from Conant Automotive. And Thank you so much for joining us, Joe.
No problem at all.
We appreciate it, and we're very much looking forward to some very important information about regular tires versus snow tires. So we're going to jump into it in just a second. First, I think Janet has a confession to make. So,
Well, you'll be happy to hear it, Joe. You were right. A couple months ago, Joe told us to get a new battery, especially before winter, because you're going to get stranded.
Oh no.
It happened.
and I see where this is going.
Sure enough, Janet was running errands on a Saturday and gets back in the car and it won't go. And
Click, click.
click, click, exactly, the dreaded click, click. And it turned out it was a couple bad cells in my battery. Dad came, thanks Dad, to give me a jump start, but I did have to go get a new battery. So I'm feeling ready for winter. I have a new battery, I have new tires, I even got new windshield wipers.
Well, good.
So I'm set.
You're
So we're
set.
taking Joe's advice, which is good. And I'm glad you've got some new advice for us. So talk to us a little bit about the snow tires.
Well, the biggest difference on a snow tire versus a regular conventional tire, and I'll try to get this up here. This is a snow tire, and the biggest thing you can tell the difference between this and a regular conventional all-season radial is these things here. If you can see it on the TV, these are called sipes, and that's what actually grips the road as you're going, you know, through snow, ice, whatever, rain. And if you can tell on this tire, there's basically none. This is a very, you know, rated tire as far as traction, but this will actually get you going on ice, snow, everything. I mean, it's if you've ever driven on these on ice, you'd never not buy a set. I mean, it's a very common thing now.
You
So
can
it's
almost
these
feel
little.
the difference, can't you?
Can you?
Oh
Driving
yes,
outside?
I don't
yeah.
have these on my car, so
The fact that it has
this
a
is
grip.
interesting. So these are almost like little rubber hairs.
Right, and
almost.
they well, not this. This is just the molding process, but the slats or the
Oh, that's what we're looking at. I don't know. That's the big difference
no,
I see.
that's why I brought them so you guys
Yeah.
could really tell the difference. That there is what actually grips the road
All
and
those little
grips the
slices.
ice.
so it's
yeah,
okay.
and it's just like suction cups going
This is
down the
why I
road.
need
It'll
Joe.
actually
I don't
grab.
know.
It'll
great.
actually
That's why we
grab
all need
onto the
Joe.
ice. Versus this tire, which is like I say, a fine all-season radial, and this will get the job done for 99% of your driving. But when it's icy or snow-covered roads, this is the tire you need. It's not an uncommon thing now for people to buy a set and put them on in the fall and then take them off in the spring.
That's what I was going to ask. So, what if you leave these on all year? I mean, are they as effective in the summer, or do you want?
No,
to switch them?
it'll work in the summer, but when this tire reaches 50% of its life, it turns into this tire. So it'll
they-
be a safe tire, but it'll no longer be an ice and snow tire.
I see. So,
So
they
it's-
switch more to save the tire for winter.
Right, and it's getting to be more and more common where people are doing this, and we offer a service where, as long as we sell them the tires, we'll take them off. Take off the snow tires in the spring, store them until
You'll store
winter.
them, too?
Yes.
Wow.
That's really
great.
nice of you.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a big hassle lugging 4 tires back home,
Yeah,
keeping them in the
sure.
garage that nobody has any room in anyways.
It is, but
And
that's a really
put them
nice
back on in the
service.
fall, and that way that tire will last probably 3 or possibly 4 seasons.
Are there different levels of snow tires? Are some better than others, or brands, or
They-
grips, or?
I'm very simple that way. Yeah, there is not very good ones out there, but as long as you keep with a name brand.
Okay.
Blizzak is, everybody associates Blizzak with snow tires, and yeah, they're a top performer. But this one, which is a Cooper, is just as good as a Blizzak. You don't need to spend crazy money on snow tires.
Okay. So now, talk to me a little bit about the price difference between snow tires and regular tires.
They're-
Is there a big difference?
They're relatively the same.
Okay.
They're relatively the same.
So why not do it?
Yeah, I mean, because you're taking off your regular tires in the winter, so you're saving them. I mean, you're buying 2 sets of tires is going to last you. I mean, you understand where I'm going with this? I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
money-wise, it's the same.
In the long haul, yeah, overall it's the same amount of money, and you're saving yourself potentially an accident or getting stuck or flipping your car or something.
No names.
Yeah, right. No, sorry.
Well,
Yeah,
like I
but-
said on a previous episode, as far as that tire there will give you the false sense of security.
Yeah.
So don't think that you're going to be able to go through everything. That tire will get you stopped and started. The biggest thing, once you get rolling, you still have to stop.
Yeah.
And that's where that tire will help you.
They give you a little bit better grip. Is it a little softer type of, or is it just seem softer because of all those little cuts?
The compounds can be softer in this tire versus this tire. But the main thing is the cuts, you call it, or the sipes is what, the term actually is. That's what gets you the traction.
Okay. So along the same, winterizing lines, so we know we need to get our winter tires, and you'll even store them for us. And we touched on this a little bit, but I want to bring it up again because now the snow is finally actually here. Well, not finally, but it's here. So give us some pointers, going into winter. If we haven't winterized our car yet, what are some major things that we need to do?
Well, the biggest thing, like she said, the battery.
Yeah.
That'll get you started.
Pun intended.
Pun intended.
Take it into a service shop or a service center, a dealer, anything. Have them check the antifreeze. Have them check all the fluids. That's the key to everything. The antifreeze and the fluids and the battery, and you will start all the time.
Okay. Antifreeze. Battery. I should have brought a notepad. I know.
How do
I'll
you
watch
know
it back.
if you need a new battery or not? I mean,
Well, the
can you
service
tell?
center should tell you.
Okay.
And age also. A lot of times we see batteries that are 5, 6, 7 years old, and to me that's a little bit too old.
Pushing it.
I go with roughly 3 years
Okay.
on my personal batteries, even though it's a 72-month battery, which equates out to 5, 6 years, because it's cheaper to put in a battery during the day when I'm ready for it versus a Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, when you're
When
stuck
you're not
somewhere in the
Right.
middle of
It
the
just batteries are inexpensive.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say
I know
cheap;
you
they're
mentioned that
inexpensive. I mean,
before.
what, $150? That is a lot of money, but
Save you
Comparatively.
some time and
Yeah.
hassle down the
you don't
road.
have to mess around on a weekend to, I need a new battery and stop
Dad.
doing one thing and do
Call
that.
Dad.
So
Or call Joe. And the big takeaway that we always get from you is preventative maintenance is just so much less expensive than finding a problem and then fixing it. So whether it be battery or whether it be, saving yourself with some snow tires, this is the guy to go see, Joe Conan over at Conan Automotive. Thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
us and
guys.
always giving
Thank
us
you.
great tips and
nice to
pointers.
see you.
And thank you so much for watching. Thanks to our guests, and please join us next time here on Girl Talk.